Hi friends, this is Maruti Makwana and I would like to welcome you to my new course which is Learn MVC 6 Step by Step. In this course, I'm going to go through learning MVC 6, which is one of the latest version of MVC with I'm going to use .NET Core framework. Now, if I introduce myself, I'm a MCT, Microsoft Certified Trainer, and I do training on different Microsoft technologies as well as some non-Microsoft technologies like Angular and React. Up to this day, in my profile, I mostly train corporates, and these are the corporates where I have given trainings on different Microsoft technologies. I'm a corporate trainer and I mostly help people in improving their performance. Now, there is a question which is, what is MVC? Now, I do not want to waste my and your time in this question because I am assuming that if you're dealing with a development of .NET framework, I'm sure you have heard about MVC and you have seen those three circles of model, view, controller in your past. And if you're not familiar, I'm just suggesting that you just Google this word, what is MVC, and I'm sure you have 50 plus websites which will show you what is MVC architecture means. Now, in this particular course, I'm going to focus on MVC 6. So I'm more interested in this question, which is what is MVC 6? Now obviously this is the 6th version of MVC, and because it's the 6th version, we have another 5 versions, which is MVC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. MVC 6 is the latest one, as well as this is the one which has a drastic changes which are going to really impact MVC architecture for the future development. That is the reason I am interested in creating this course, which can help my students to learn about MVC 6 and how they can migrate their existing web applications which are based on .NET framework into MVC 6 based application. Now, the one thing which I want to highlight right now, if you are not familiar, is MVC 6 is based on .NET Core framework, which is one of the new framework of .NET, and then it's not based on .NET framework which you have seen in the past. Now, in this particular introduction video, I just want you to focus on some basic things first, and I want to clarify this thing before you pay for this video. So the first thing is, if you're working on .NET framework, then the good thing is up to MVC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to MVC 5, all 5 versions of MVC were based on .NET framework, which is a bigger and heavier framework. While Microsoft has launched a new open source framework actually, which is known as .NET Core framework. And this .NET Core framework is the one which is running in the back end when you are going to develop MVC 6 applications. Yes guys, the bottom line is this, that MVC 6 is based on .NET Core framework, not on full .NET framework. That's why in this course, while learning MVC 6, I'm sure you're going to learn a couple of new things which are associated with MVC 6 as well as with .NET Core. For this particular course, the architecture looks like this. Like we all know that we have a .NET framework and we have a .NET CLR which actually do everything for .NET framework, like memory management, thread management, garbage collection, everything. Now, as I'm saying, this is a new framework. A .NET Core is a new framework which is having a separate new CLR, which is Core CLR. And the work-wise, it looks similar, but the advantages which are given in .NET Core are only driven through this new framework, which is .NET Core framework. On top of this .NET Core framework, Microsoft has developed something which is ASP.NET Core. And this ASP.NET Core is using MVC version 6 as well as Entity Framework Core, which is also one of the new version of Entity Framework, especially running on .NET Core. So what we are going to do in this course is we are going to focus on .NET Core with MVC 6, and in that I'm going to use Entity Framework Core also. That's what the goal is, and we are not going to use a traditional old version of MVC in this course. We are going to only focus on MVC 6. That's the reason I want to add one more bottom line, is this, that to understand MVC 6, you do not need older versions of MVC. You do not need to learn those older versions of MVC 1, 2, 3 or 4 or 5. Because MVC 6 is based on totally new version of .NET framework, which is .NET Core, you need to learn these new things. if you learn these new things, you can directly learn MVC 6, or if you have a prior knowledge of MVC 5 and all, that is also going to be perfect for this course. For this course, I need first two basic requirements, which is Visual Studio 2017 and .NET Core. Now let me tell you one thing. Visual Studio 2017 is not compulsory for .NET Core development. Because .NET Core is an open source, you can develop this thing with any editor or IDE you prefer, and it is available with the .NET CLI, which is going to help you to build and run your project. But in this particular course, I am going to use Visual Studio 2017 because my students and my client employees are mostly using Visual Studio and they want to upgrade their projects into .NET Core. So I'm going to use Visual Studio 2017 with .NET Core latest version into this, and I'm going to use Google Chrome as well as Postman for some of my samples. So if you have not installed any of these 4 tools, then maybe this course and the hands-on which I'm going to show you in this course is not going to be proper for you. So I request install these 4 softwares into that first. To know more about .NET Core, you can go through this official links of Microsoft, which are provided by Microsoft, and you can know more about .NET Core and all those things. For MVC 6, you leave it on me. I'll show you these things in this course. As you can see on my screen, I have my Visual Studio 2017 installed in my machine. And if I do file new project, I have something which is .NET Core under C#, and this .NET Core is having ASP.NET Core web application. Whatever template I'm going to select here is going to take me to a next pop-up which is asking me that which .NET Core version you want to select. So in my machine I have .NET Core version 2.0, 2.1 and 2.2, which is the latest one, and in this course I'm going to use 2.2. Now you can see that sometimes when you have a newer version installed, it's saying that Visual Studio 2017 or a newer is recommended for ASP.NET Core 2.2. Now if you have this kind of thing, you need a specific version of Visual Studio 2017, which is 15.7 in my case. You have to select web application, and if you check this web application, which is based on MVC, Model View Controller, or the Angular based or the React based, all these templates are actually using .NET Core only. We are going to focus on this, which is web application based on Model View Controller, and we are going to focus on API also in this particular course. If you are interested in Angular and React based templates and the learning based on that, then you can refer my another course which is using Angular with MVC 6. So this is the thing which we are going to use. If you have not installed .NET Core in your machine, you can go to this URL, which is .net.microsoft.com/download, and there you can see we have two different .NET framework. One is a full .NET framework, while the other one is .NET Core. And the one which we are going to use in this training, in this course, is .NET Core 2.2. So this is something which you need to download. So you can download the .NET Core SDK and you can deal with this, which is free of cost. Right now I'm recording this course based on .NET Core 2.2 because this is the latest one. But just for your kind of information, 3.0 .NET Core version is right now in a preview state, which is already launched. And this one is going to get released next month. So maybe based on that we can change our code samples. But right now the latest stable version is .NET Core 2.2. So I advise you stick to this version until unless we get the new stable version of .NET Core. Thank you.